Tom Gamble, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm better than Bridget, it sounds like. And I do know that when we talk about Bridget's high school Uber, I know we might have to change the complexion of the ride, shall we say. So you'll get to the wrong place, but you'll get there differently.
You'll get there definitely. Well, before we get to the Uber, let's get to the action. Last week in the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown presented by Mercy Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Meyer, we had McNicholas and Roger Bacon.
Yeah, classic old GCL matchup. But I got to tell you, this McNicholas team is really, really good because I thought Roger Bacon, and I still think Roger Bacon is, but Nick's now undefeated. They took command early and wound up winning that rather convincingly. Boy, we got another one. This one from the GCL South Division tonight, and it's a really good one. LaSalle, which is, again, officially 4-0. Big comeback win last week against previously unbeaten DuPont Manual from Louisville. They do not count the IMG Academy game. Done with that. But they're 4-0. The Lancers ranked number 2 in Division II and really good. And they're playing Moeller. Moeller suffered his first loss last week, no shame, against the really good St. Xavier Bombers. Moeller's 4-1. They're off to their best start since 2018 when they started by winning 6 of 7. Actually won 3 in a row to win the GCL South. So, and this game last year was a great one. Moeller was down 11, came back to take a lead, and then LaSalle Mason Lunsman kicked a 29-yard field goal with 12 seconds left for a 2-point win. So this has got all the makings of a really, really good game in the Showdown. Again, everything Showdown related at X-Town Showdown, including all sorts of stuff on LaSalle Moeller tonight. Now, speaking of St. X, they continue to roll. They've won 13 games in a row. They host Elder tonight. St. X is number 1 in D1 in the AP state poll. Now, Elder comes in 1-3, but don't be deceived. They lost to 4-1 Pickerington Central, 5-0 Lakewood St. Edward, which might be able to challenge St. X, and 3-1 Louisville St. X. So that game's over at St. Xavier. That should be a good one. And, boy, there's a ton of good games tonight. Lakota West, is anybody going to challenge them in the GMC? I don't think so, but they're at Mason. Milford under Tom Grippa off to a 4-1 start. They're at Winton Woods. Madeira at Reading in the CHL small schools. Edgewood's at Mount Healthy. Mount Healthy's 4-1. Northwest is at Ross. Speaking of McNick, they take on Kettering Ultra, so that doesn't get any easier. That's at Bellbrook High School tonight. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Withrow. The Tigers off to a 5-0 start behind a really good defense. They take on Taft Saturday at home. So there you go with some games around Cincinnati. In Northern Kentucky, Highlands is at Dixie Heights tonight. Cooper at Covcath. And then tomorrow, Newport Central Catholic at Newport. That's on Saturday, kind of the Battle of Newport. So there's always good games. We're in week 6. Hard to believe we're on the second half
week
of the regular
6 already.
season.
Yeah,
I know. Crazy.
Time
and
is
it feels
flying.
like football. Feels like football weather. I mean,
It does.
It does.
It's all
After
good now.
what, 812 degrees last Friday?
That was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not going to lie. But it looks like tonight's going to be a perfect night. Now, there's plenty of players around town that could be singled out, but I just want to read you these numbers because this is staggering. Now, anybody who goes to an Anderson football game knows the following. You better make not many plans for after the game because they last pretty long. Evan Dreyer, the Raptors coach, likes to throw it around. Think about these numbers for a high school receiver in 5 games. Anderson senior Joey Faulkner. I would tell you the average high school receiver maybe catches 2 to 3 to 4 passes a game, and you got to be pretty good to do that. In 5 games, Faulkner has 65 catches.
Wow.
For 1,015 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's caught 11 or more passes in all but 1 game, and he caught a mere 9 in that one. Last week against Lebanon, he hauled in 16 passes for 338 yards and 4 TDs. And, oh, by the way, the previous week, he also caught 16. I mean, those are
ridiculous.
Well, I will tell you, he could rank among the all-time reception leaders for a season by the time it's all said and done. Because you got to figure they're going to make the playoffs. Pretty much everybody does. He's got 5 more regular season games. So you do the math. I mean, even if he, 100-plus catches in high school in a season, staggering. Most guys probably don't have that in their career.
No,
and they play West Claremont tonight. So I would expect double digits tonight as well. So there you go.
I wonder if there's any way that I can just draft him in my fantasy team right now for the NFL because that is ridiculous numbers. NFL guys don't even get that close sometimes.
Right. Well, and please tell me we're not going to get fantasy football at the high school level ever. I mean, I'm all for promoting high school football and high school sports, but please, we definitively do not need that.
Right.
And I understand my alma mater tonight. The game has been moved from Middletown back to Coleraine, correct? And I there's not enough time on this segment for what is going on around schools today, and it's probably the last time I would do this segment, so I'll just reserve. But Coleraine at Middletown is now being played at Coleraine.
You are correct.
Yes.
And yes, we do not need to highlight the dumb acidness. Is that a word?
I like it. I'll add it to the dictionary.
Yeah, of some of these kids that are ruining it for everybody else.
Yeah. So
Well, that's the sad part, and you are correct. I mean, largely, kids go to games, big student sections, they have a great time. It's the small minority, as we've said for years. But nonetheless, are we ready? So now I understand Bridget took a little stumble. Should we call it stumble?
It was a stumble,
right?
and just let me clarify: I was sober. That's been that's come up a lot,
you know what?
and I was, because if I wasn't, I probably would have hurt myself less.
That's very true.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known it at least till a couple days later. I'm not going to lie. When I broke my ankle in two places back when I was there doing the morning show, I was too. I was trying to do a good deed.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you're telling me you can still, because it's only a brace on the right foot, so you say you can still drive. I say no. I'll just let someone else drive. I'll hire a driver, and I'll get direct. You can give the directions, and then they'll wind up somewhere. Now, here we go. You ready?
All right.
So it's the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown game tonight with Salle against Moeller. Moeller's the home team. So if we're going, how do we get there?
Oh, I feel like we should take 71 and maybe get off. What?
That's a good start.
Okay.
That helps.
And then get off at the Kenwood exit, Montgomery Road, and take a right off the exit, and then you're going to go up, I don't know, like a mile or two. And then isn't it on your left-hand side?
Well, it is, but like we did this a couple years ago, and I gave you the same response. Remember,
they don't play at the school.
You can hope someone's in the parking lot and can direct you to where they do play. Now, here's the best part. You could walk to where that game will be played from your studio right now, because the game tonight is at Shea Stadium in Norwood.
Literally, I can see it.
Is right there. Yes, you can see. If you go to the right window, you can see it. So there you go. You know what, Bridget? Come on. When you pulled out that's the Kroger that I shop at last week, and that's the only reason you knew how to get to Beechwood. I couldn't lob another softie, right? You were so bad in the state of Kentucky. I tried to give you one, so now you dropped to 1-4. Yes, it's at Shea Stadium in Norwood tonight. LaSalle, Moeller. Kickoff 7 o'clock, ought to be a great one in the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown.
Here's the thing. My record is no worse or better than the Bengals right now. So,
well, it actually is. They haven't played as many as you. So
percentage-wise, you're on the losing end there, Bridge.
Damn it.
That would be correct. Percentage-wise, the Bengals are still sitting at 500 until about 410 on Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's hope the Bengals can. I'm giving them a slim glimmer of hope out there in Pittsburgh, but history would tell us that that's not the case. But being a Browns fan, this is a common enemy for me. I would love to see the Bengals beat the Steelers, so I'm hoping it happens.
Well, and Joe Burrow, you just have to hope he survives. And boy, oh boy, I got to tell you, the way the Bengals look last Sunday and what's happened to the Reds, it is not – Mayberry's not going so good on the sports scene.
Yeah.
So
Does not
true.
go well.
It's bad. But it's a great night for high school football. So, Bridget, I'll see you up in Kenwood, and we'll get somebody to drive us on down 71.
Here's the thing. I'm sure I can find a Skyline Chili around there to keep me company.
Well, you can. I'll be honest with you. If you just keep going on that Montgomery Road right up by 275, brand new Skyline Chili, only a year or so old. Awesome. I'll meet. How about if we meet there, then we'll go to Norwood.
Perfect.
All right.
So
well, you
it's
guys
a
have
date.
an awesome weekend. Please take care of yourself and walk very gingerly.
Will do. We'll talk next week.
All right. Sounds good. Take care.